the crucial final days of the U.S. in Afghanistan. Thousands of Afghans are still lining up outside Kabul airport to evacuate, even as the time for those evacuation flights is rapidly dwindling. The White House is saying the U.S. is ready to stay if necessary.
The president was briefed this morning on contingency plans and continues to have optionality should he decide to change plans, even as we are on track to complete our mission by August 31st.
And while the U.S. has not recognized the Taliban as the official government of Afghanistan, the U.S. State Department said Wednesday it would hold the Taliban responsible for the well-being of Afghans.
I will use every diplomatic, economic, political, and assistance tool at my disposal, working closely with allies and partners to do everything possible to uphold their basic rights.
But on Capitol Hill, the administration faces intense bipartisan concern, including a top lawmaker saying many Democrats do not believe Biden's claim there's enough time for the evacuations.
People really want to encourage the president to stay longer, but he has to, as I say, weigh the equities of the danger versus the advantage, and I trust his judgment.
Republicans said Biden's concerns about protecting American troops could have been avoided if he had heeded their warnings to evacuate Afghan allies earlier.
We had a promise that we would get them out. How can they trust America anymore if we violate our trust and our promises? But it's also a national security threat to abandon our partners. Who will be able to convince our allies in the future and partners in the future? Will they be able to trust the United States of America?
The Taliban reportedly are blocking Afghans with special immigrant visas from reaching Kabul airport, a challenge the Pentagon said U.S. military on the ground was addressing.
We have shared what the proper credentials are, and by and large, not saying it's been perfect, but by and large, the people that we have made clear to the Taliban that we want to have access through the checkpoints have been able to get through, by and large.
The Pentagon has not yet said when it would begin drawing down U.S. troops and equipment from Kabul airport, leading U.S. lawmakers to warn evacuation flights could cease in just 2 days.
In 6 days, we're going to shut everything down. Well, that's not 6 days. It's really the next 48 hours. They're going to have to close the gates to clear out those that are on the airfield and get the military out. That is unacceptable.
The U.S. said Wednesday some 19,000 people had been evacuated in the previous 24 hours. Catherine Gibson, VOA News, Washington.